Hello there, welcome everybody. This is Diorama Don speaking. This is my version of a pillbox, something that you would see quite frequently all over Europe, especially on the Atlantic coast and on the German border. It's got let me lift it up. Got the gun emplacements or outlooks all around, which we will go into how I made. So the rest of the video will be how I made it. Okay, let us make a start. What we need first of all is, we need 2mm cardboard. If you can get 2mm thick, all well and good. If not, you'll need about 3 pieces of ordinary cornflake packet type packaging. 3 pieces stuck together, which should make up about 2mm thick. I am considering selling it. I can buy 2mm cardboard extraordinarily cheap. I buy big sheets of it, so cutting it up into, say, A4 sized pieces, I could sell it and distribute it among the world. So if you're interested in buying any, please let me know in the comment section and we can perhaps sort something out. Okay, so we need 5 pieces that are 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches, or near as damn it 90mm by 70mm. So 5 pieces that size. Then we need to mark out on 4 of the pieces centre line in the middle, because that's where most centre lines are, and then 1/2 inch or 12mm in from top and bottom. So we've got that. Then with a very sharp knife, oh gosh, where is it? There it is. With a very sharp knife, cut along those lines, so you'll have the ruler just below the line, and then cut a 45-degree angle like that. Turn it around, same again, do another 45-degree angle, and that will give you a groove. It's still okay in 2, don't go too deep or you'll cut right through it, but that's as good a groove as you need. This will represent the layers of concrete, which is how they were made. So once we've got that groove, then in one of the other piece, that's 4 pieces like that, in this piece we need to cut a doorway. This is 2 inches high, 50mm, and 1 1/4 inch wide, which is 18mm. That'll be the doorway. We'll still need the grooves as well in this piece. And in the other 4 pieces, we need to cut a hole in the middle, 1 1/4 inch by 3/4, or 32mm by 18mm. Okay, that will be in the other 4 pieces of card. Then what you need is 20 pieces of card, 2 inches by 1.5 inches, or 50mm by 38mm. So you need 20 of those. Then you'll need to cut a hole in 4 of them, 1 1/4 inch by 3/4, like that. So that is the same size then as that hole there. Then you need a hole in another 4 of them. No, 2, 4, in 8 of the other pieces of card, inch by 1/2 inch, or 25 by 12. So you'll need 2 of those, the same size for each of these cards, each of these 4 cards. Am I losing you? So we're going to have that there, the same size, this behind 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around, 2 of those, and then 3/4 by 1/4, or 18 millimeters by 6 millimeters, and 2 of those again. Okay, it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around each time, and that will sit behind there. And when that's all glued in properly, not like that, it will give the effect of the thickness of the wall then. So we've got 2 millimeters, we've got 6 pieces of card, including the outside. We've got 6 pieces of card. So 6 times 2 millimeters, it's 12 millimeters, times 35, which is the scale we're working on. So we've got 420 millimeters. So we're 16 inches deep, thick. So 35 scale, 1:35 scale, is ample. It's going to be plenty. 16 inches deep is as much as they probably were. Okay, so in 4 pieces of card we should have this, with these all stuck in properly in ever decreasing sizes until we've got the smallest size where they stick the gun through. Okay, I think we've got all that. Then what we need is a pentagon. Now, I don't know if you can remember from old school days how to draw a pentagon. I couldn't. But what I did do, because we're given one side, we know what one side is. So we've got the cards there. So I just put one card, well, without that, and then use the other cards to work out the shape of the pentagon. So that's on a center line from there. So if you put that on your card and draw a center line up to there, then it can only possibly be a pentagon, like that. Okay, then what we do is stick all this all around, all the 5 pieces when they're all done. Okay, and then we'll take it to the next level. So if you've got all that, and I hope you have, you'll see when it's all put together. Then I'll see in a moment. You should now have something looking a bit like this. You can see all the bits and pieces of cardboard stuck together inside there, but it gives that impression of the which is how they were. That's what they look like. That's why I've done it. They were that shape. The obvious material to use would be styrofoam for something like this, but you'd be a bit hard pressed to get that kind of shape, that effect, only with cardboard. I put a bit of polystyrene to make the thickness of the doorway a bit more prominent. So we need a roof. So turn it upside down, stick it onto your piece of well, I'm using polystyrene. I haven't got any styrofoam, and polystyrene is cheaper anyway. So stick that on your polystyrene and draw around and cut that out, and you should have a shape like that. Then mark about 1/4 of an inch in, or 6 millimeters, all the way around on each edge, and the same on the edges. And then with a very sharp knife, which I haven't got, this is a little bit blunt, cut so that it passes through both black lines. And I'm doing this through the lens of a camera, so if I cut a finger off, it's your fault. You can see the significance of a sharp knife. But if you cut through both lines like that, it doesn't take much doing then with a piece of sandpaper, and you can see how I've done one earlier and that one, so that it'll look like that all the way around, which is again how they were sloping to deflect any shells. So when I've done that, I shall stick that on top, make a bit of a diorama base for it. I'll probably put a polystyrene, where is the door? There. I'll put a bit of a polystyrene wall coming out there and along there as an entrance to get in, and stick that on a small diorama. Give it a coat of wall filler with a little bit of water added to it to give it a base of before I put my grey grout on, which is what I'll do when I come back. So we should have something looking a bit like this now. All that time and trouble and toil cutting out all those squares has paid off. It looks pretty good now with all the gun holes there and the door. Giving it a coat of white wall filler with a little bit of water added, and a bit of a sanding down just to smooth it off. I've made a very simple base for it, but this is only just for demonstration purposes. Obviously you'd use it in a more elaborate setting, I would assume. Maybe not. Made a bit of a wall, polystyrene again, but it must have this coat of filler on for anything to adhere to it. So that will be our little entrance wall. So what we need to do is make it look like concrete. So I've mixed some grey grout, some grey coloured grout, powdered grout from your DIY store. Cost nothing. Add a little bit of PVA glue, white PVA glue, and a little bit of water, and you get that. That's going to be our concrete, and it's going to stick to it because it's got that glue in. So I'll do the top. Just splodge it on. Well, I'll do a bit of a side thing as well. I won't do it all, just to show you what I do. I've done this a number of times on other projects, so this may be old news to some. Okay, that'll do. Then if I move that over, a bowl of water and a washing up sponge, and pretty much take a lot of it off. Keep doing that until the white starts to come through again. And when that's dry, it will look very much like concrete. So I'll just do it a little bit like that. Miss that bit. I'll do the rest of it, and the wall and the diorama base, and let that dry. It's not easy to see with the light shining on the water, but when that's dry, that will look like concrete. Honestly, believe me, I'm not a liar. Okay, so I'll finish this off and come back, and we'll be pretty much finished. So there we are, one pillbox all completed, all dry now. The grout that I put on and then dabbed off as dried. It dried a little too light, so I just darkened it with a bit of grey aerosol spray paint just to darken it down a little bit. But it's the construction really that is the whole point of the video. So there we are, one pillbox. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel. There are getting on for 100 videos now, so there's lots of stuff to see, lots of stuff to comment about. If you make something like this, please let me know in the comment section. There will be more content in the days and weeks to come. So in the meantime, I wish you happy modelling.